So today I'd like to talk about what is, in my opinion, the greatest movie never made. So Ilsa Meets Bruce Lee in The Devil's Triangle, also known as Ilsa versus Bruce Lee in The Devil's Triangle, has become a bit of a legendary, lost, unproduced movie in cult film circles and B-movie circles, to say the least. It is a lost, unproduced film concept from the 1970s exploitation era. So this one was pitched as a bit of a crossover sequel to the infamous Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS from 1975. It blended the Nazi-exploitation genre with Bruce-exploitation martial arts action set against a supernatural backdrop involving the Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle. So quite a concept indeed, and quite a bit of preliminary excitement was generated with concept art, but unfortunately the project was never developed beyond the planning stages and it was ultimately abandoned. From what I understand, no script was ever written for this one, no filming ever occurred, and no footage exists. The concept, however, really was a distillation of everything that was great about exploitation cinema in the 1970s, at least in my opinion. And apparently producer Harry Novak of Attack of the Giant Leeches fame was involved in this one. That's unconfirmed, but it is rumoured. Mainly he wanted to do it as a cash-in on both the notoriety of Bruce Lee's death and the Ilsa series of films starring Dyanne Thorne. So Bruce-exploitation or Lear-like films had been a big money spinner in their own right for years. And so was the Ilsa series, starring Dyanne Thorne as the domineering SS Commander Ilsa, the titular She-Wolf of the SS. And the first film, Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS, was a massive drive-in hit in 1975, and it spawned quickie sequels like Ilsa Harem Keeper of the Oil Sheiks in 1976, and Ilsa the Wicked Warden in 1977. These were low-budget affairs, and they were often filmed back-to-back in Israel, of all places, or the Philippines, to cut costs. And incidentally, the original Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS was shot on the set of Hogan's Heroes, so a little factoid there. So in around 1976, Harry Novak proposed this one as a fourth instalment of the Ilsa franchise, and he wanted it to merge Ilsa's sleazy Nazi-exploitation with Bruce Lee-style kung fu, capitalising on Lee's death back in 1973, which, as I said, sparked a wave of imitators and great Bruce Lee-like movies like Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave and The Clones of Bruce Lee. And the Bermuda Triangle angle also tapped into the era's fascination with paranormal mysteries. In Search of, I remember, with Leonard Nimoy, aka Great Mysteries of the World here in Australia, was red hot at the time, so it was probably another influence. But according to Dyanne Thorne in a 2011 interview with Horror Cult Films, there was never a script for the project, and it was little more than a title and some promotional hype. But that had been the key to success for people like Roger Corman for decades, so that shouldn't have stopped them. They should have been able to pre-sell based on just a poster. Rumour has it that the whole thing fell apart due to budget constraints, rights issues with the Bruce Lee estate, and the rapid decline of the Ilsa series due to audience fatigue and shifting tastes towards blockbusters. Killed the concept quicker and better than a one-inch punch, I believe. So the alleged premise of the film was that Ilsa escapes execution after the events of She-Wolf of the SS, and she flees to the Caribbean. There she commandeers a boat smuggling Chinese refugees into the US, and a sudden storm transports the vessel into the Bermuda Triangle, where electromagnetic anomalies turn the passengers into zombie-like mutants. So Ilsa battles these horrors while allying with and later betraying a Bruce Lee stand-in, presumably to be played by Bruce Lee. And the story then devolves into a mix of kung fu fights, topless zombie attacks, and Ilsa's signature tortures, culminating in a showdown where Ilsa uses a voodoo doll to control undead pirates. So it really does sound something like Raw Force, if I have to compare it to any movie. And Ilsa herself, Dyanne Thorne, described it as all lies propagated by internet rumours and internet scuttlebutt, emphasising the lack of any real development. But who knows for certain? Either way, Ilsa versus Bruce Lee in The Devil's Triangle, aka Ilsa Meets Bruce Lee in The Devil's Triangle, surely the greatest film never made, Incidentally, Ilsa versus Idi Amin was also proposed, which would have been awesome and perhaps even more amazing, especially if you've seen Amin, The Rise and Fall. That sort of mashup would have been legendary. Amin, The Rise and Fall is a biopic that has to be seen to be believed. So that's about all the information that I do have on the subject of Ilsa Meets Bruce Lee and The Devil's Triangle. Surely one of the greatest films never made, in my opinion, and something that would be fantastic to revive if anyone out there can revive it. If you do have any information, any more factoids on Ilsa Meets Bruce Lee and The Devil's Triangle, aka Ilsa versus Bruce Lee and The Devil's Triangle, by all means, let us know in the comments below. But that really is all that I have on it. It would have been an awesome mashup for the ages. The she-wolf of the SS herself, Ilsa, taking on Bruce Lee, or Bruce Leah, or Bruce Let, whichever Leah like happened to be free at the time, to star in Ilsa Meets Bruce Lee and The Devil's Triangle. That would have all been awesome, as would have been Ilsa Meets Idi Amin. But sadly, it remains a unproduced project, a largely forgotten project. I couldn't really find a great deal of information on it. Everyone that seems to know anything about it seems to be dead. If you do know anything about Ilsa Meets Bruce Lee and The Devil's Triangle, aka Ilsa versus Bruce Lee and The Devil's Triangle, please let us know in the comments below. That'd be great to get some more information on this one. Perhaps what went wrong, a bit more clarity on the premise, the plot details that were going to occur if it was made, and how close it was to being made. But otherwise, that's about all I have on the legendary, forgotten, unproduced Ilsa Meets Bruce Lee and The Devil's Triangle. So I hope you've enjoyed this upload. If you'd like to see more from this channel, please subscribe. And it's always great to know how my YouTube driving is. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's always good to get a bit of feedback. I generally upload fairly regularly onto this channel as inspiration strikes, as it has today, with talking about the long-lost, unproduced Ilsa versus Bruce Lee and The Devil's Triangle. And I'm off to enjoy the rest of my evening. I hope you do as well, depending on where you're watching, whether it's morning, evening, afternoon, or well after the witching hour. I hope to see you next time right here at Fulci Metal Jacket. And as I said, it'll be really fantastic if you do take a minute to like, share, subscribe, or comment, especially if you do have some information about Ilsa. But otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next time, and I hope you all take it easy.